Hello, and welcome to Chaos and Caffeine, episode 14. As you can see, I am back in the United States. We had a lot of fun going to Croatia. The combination of some business meetings and the conference was a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into this a little bit. So today we're going to cover something called Joe 2.0, which is a coffee I got from the grocery store, even though we found it in some vitamin shops. Matter of fact, a vitamin shop. Thought it was interesting because I said, why not give it a shot? So we have a cup of that in our Nikola Tesla cup. Yep, the original Chaos Engineer. So in any case, it claims enhanced coffee, focus, brain power, stress. Okay, so yeah, caffeine brings down stress a little bit. But what they do is the ingredients includes natural coffee, not unnatural coffee, L-tyrosine, L-theanine, ashwagandha extract, and lion's mane extract. Well, lion's mane, not an actual lion, but like the flower or whatever weed. In any case, then they go on to explain a few things like they're vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, and keto. Okay, so that, of course, is separate from every other coffee, which is vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, and keto. So neither here nor there. So a black coffee. So next week I'm going to try something a little different, but I really, the first thing that happened, well, let's just say I converted a lot of people to think that this is now a small coffee in Croatia when they were walking around with the little Italian coffee cups, which were smaller than this with espresso in it, and then what they called a coffee Americano or whatever. Basically was the little guy with some water in it in a large cup, so there was a lot of room. The whole idea is you were supposed to fill up all that difference with milk. So now I understand why they're all either stressed out or actually too mellow. Anyways, I had a lot of fun there. I'm just teasing a little bit. Oh, that's really cool. Right under the fact that it's a medium roast, 10 cups of Joe, it says in a star, mild stress reduction. Huh. I don't take caffeine for stress reduction. For those who watch South Park, think in terms of tweak. So in any case, we'll put this away for later. Of course, when I put this in the Tesla coffee cup, believe me, this is not an untested coffee. Matter of fact, I think I have all of 2 left, so I'd had 7 cups of this in the past. It was okay. It's not the biggest and brightest, but let's give it a shot. Let's get the reaction, because I haven't had this in a little while. Let's make sure. Is it still in date? All right. January 5th of 27. So I assume it's still in date. And it's a 100% recyclable box. And you load the single serve cup into the brewer. You select the 8-ounce setting for the best taste. Well, I actually went 10. Once brewing is complete, remove the single-serve cup with caution. Well, the other one said let it cool down first, so these guys are really, really fringe. Anyways, we'll set that down. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to, and I won't put this up on the website because I'm mean, drinkjoe.co. So drinkjoe at co.co, not .com. So in any case, here we go. Oh, and the other side of this says the inventor that created renewable energy and cared more about people than profit, Nikola Tesla. Okay, very, actually not exactly accurate. Yes, he believed in, yeah, I am holding off drinking the coffee. I'm going to do this first. So much better out of a Tesla coffee cup. And of course, I'm wearing my Nikola Tesla hat. Definitely mellow, definitely easy. I don't remember why I didn't drink this so much. I think it's the fact that I think it's the L-theanine that I kind of react a little bit to. So we'll find out. If I go a little nuts, well, you won't know because I won't get the recording up. But in any case, here we go. Thumbs up. Not bad. Definitely not a Death Wish or Arc coffee or shop floor coffee. That I can't say enough. That was pretty good. You know what? Because I haven't slept in days, let's do something else, because I know that is not a high caffeine. I took a look at the thing, and it's, I think, 180 milligrams. I'm used to drinking coffee that's no less than 450 milligrams. So we are going to try, we're going to add to this because I am really, really freaking tired. I'll get into the story in a second. So I've got 5-hour energy. So we're going to do a taste of 5-hour energy as well. I'm not going to put that on the title. This one has vitamins and 230 milligrams of caffeine. So if I combine that with that, I've got 400, which is not quite Death Wish, which is 650. And this is Fruity Rainbow flavor. How the hell did I get Fruity Rainbow flavor? I thought this was the fruit punch. Oh, well. Let's see. Fruity Rainbow. I'm old now. But in any case, kind of funny that actually I drink these once in a while because of the B12, because some stuff I have to be on now. So niacin, vitamin B6, B12, which is 500 micrograms, which comes out to 20,833% of your daily intake. Along with taurine, gluconoric acid, malic acid, N-acetyl L-tyrosine, L-phenylene, and then of caffeine, and then cetylosine. Now, I know that sounds like a chemical batch. Believe it or not, when I was involved in powerlifting, we used to take drinks that were just this. The big things, fill them up. These are all essential acids, amino acids, and other things that you have a little bit of, but when you lift heavy weights, you end up needing to replace all of that. Well, I'm not, but I haven't slept right in days. So you remember, has anybody ever had those little chalky little Pez Pez, I think would be a good one. The fruit ones. Yeah. Not ordering that one again, so we'll do on that. So in any case, that should, I think the niacin will get my tummy a little bit. So I'm a little slap happy, just to put this into perspective. So my end week project in Croatia was a CIGRE conference put on by Croatia. I keep HR. HRO Croatia, or HRO CIGRE, which is the Croatian one. Their A1 group, which is Generation Machines, had their first ICPEEG. I probably got that wrong, but anyways, an international symposium on electric machines and power generation. And I didn't go to Montreal, which was the big, all of the groups from CIGRE in Montreal. The week before, I had an emergency job. So we adjusted things around. Emergency job we'd planned for a month. But anyway, we had to wait till we could get in to take a look at some things. But that was very important. So I went ahead and said, okay, while I'm in Croatia, let's get together with some of our European partners. So we made those arrangements. So we had a flight that went direct from Newark, New Jersey. From Chicago to Newark, New Jersey, which is 2.25 hours, basically. And we arrived about 2 hours, early morning start. Had a 2-hour layover. Luckily, my mother-in-law was in a wheelchair, so I tell you what, that I thought it would slow us down. We made the flight really easy. The folks were fantastic. The people that take care of the wheelchair folks, they knew where to go, what to do. They got us through everything. All we had to do was make the arrangements through the app for United, and off we go. So we land in New Jersey, and we're worried that there's not going to be anybody there, of course, because we've never done this before. We get there. Sure enough, somebody's waiting for us right on as we get on the jet bridge. Zoom, off we go to the flight to Dubrovnik. We get on. Now, we didn't go business class. United's got this weird setup. So what I would normally think of business class was considered first class, the lay flat seat. So we ended up in premier economy, which means less service, but who cares? You know, the idea was to attempt to sleep. But what I did do is watch like 4 movies, and then of course regular economy, which the plane was lightly loaded. It's off season, so apparently they were even more comfortable in economy because a lot of people just laid across multiple seats in the middle. Go figure. So 9-hour flight, land in Dubrovnik. We landed an hour and a half early. So we landed at about 6:30 Dubrovnik time, and that's 7 hours ahead of here in the morning. And so it was close to midnight. And basically part of the reason I didn't sleep the whole trip, it was one day. So it would have been about roughly just before midnight our time. And so we went over to Hertz to rent the largest SUV available on the entire lot. It was an MG, so a UK vehicle, which I would never recommend anybody. It was terrible. But it was about the size of a small to mid, well, maybe a small, like a CRV here. They said 5 passengers and 5 pieces of luggage. No. No. But we learned the small vehicle was pretty good. Now, I've been to Croatia before, and I've been in other places in Asia and Europe. This is actually the first time I've driven outside of North America. So we landed, of course, it's not a British colony, so we were driving on the right side of the road, so nothing different there. And we squeezed in. We let down the back seats. Luckily, we were able to do one back seat laid down. So the 3 of us set in the luggage, yeah. So we stuffed the luggage in there, crammed things around. I managed to break my hardened suitcase, shut the back door, and so we had to wait an hour and a half to get that rental vehicle, and zoom, off we go. So I am familiar with the rules of the road out there. I have been a passenger before. I understood the speed limit signs and stuff like that. It was a little chaotic because what was on the car's mapping or speed system, because they didn't put GPS in there even though I'd asked for it. I went ahead and I used my Google and then everything else. Now, you go, oh my gosh, pricing. Well, I didn't do anything except go to Verizon and say, set me up for international. So it turns out that the program I'm on allows all of our phones to go to international. What that meant is the first time we use it, each 24-hour period, it would trigger, so I got all the same features I had here. So unlimited everything. So that was great. So Verizon, that's your commercial. So I used Google Maps there, set it up, had great reception the entire country. So on the way up, we were going to Smiljan to see Tesla's birthplace. 5 hours. So I've just taken that trip. We landed about midnight, and then I've got to drive for 5 hours. I claim that I slept through most of it. Since I was there in 2012, they put in some highway, which was very nice, 130 kilometers per hour, or roughly over 80 miles per hour. It didn't have to go more than the speed limit. I don't think we could have in that vehicle. Everything felt kind of soft. I found out later it's because we had a slow leak in both front tires. So we get up and we're staying in close to Old Town in one of the cities there near some relatives. So we stayed there, got up, this was after, because I wanted to stop in Smiljan first. So we went into Gospic, over to Smiljan, saw Tesla's birthplace, kind of talked about a little bit about that in episode 13. I'll link that at the end to make this kind of one big travel bit. And I think there I linked to something else similar as well. So at the very end, you'll see a link. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. So in any case, I'm supposed to be saying that in the beginning or whatever, but I don't care. I'm doing this for my own fun. If I have one viewer or 100 or a million, I don't care. So that's wishful thinking. I think I hit an average of a few hundred. So in any case, get in, drive, hit there, see the birthplace, go over, stay overnight, see relatives that evening, go to dinner, get in, and then we have the next day. And of course, I didn't sleep again because clock's off, and it's been years since I've traveled. I think 2019 was the last out-of-country trip. So I think, and I went Asia direction. So in any case, which it's always better to come the other way. So we finished that up. We get up to Umag, where I had my business meetings, and the rest of the family was up there. So we got to enjoy some really nice... We decided to stay, instead of in the family condo, we stayed in a really, really nice resort hotel. And managed to see a lot of people. We have one of our nephews is a big celebrity. If you followed me before, you'll know who that is. So we got to see them. Haven't seen them in ages. So then got in, met with some government folks and stuff like that. So got in, and on Saturday, because we had one last meeting on Friday, we made the full 9-hour trip back. So we went inland on the way up. We kind of followed the coast on the way back down, which was really nice. Fast speeds, extremely windy roads, as in 2 narrow lanes, sharp turns. It kept me awake. So there was no sleeping on that one. So we get down to Dubrovnik on the Saturday. Meetings start in the afternoon on Sunday, which gave us a chance to relax and sleep. And then our first meetings had to do with the A1 meeting, which this was run by one of the universities, as well as the version of GE that's out of there called Conchar. They basically do all the electric machines, a lot of electrical systems, all their wind turbines and everything else. So very, very nice folks. We were kind of warned that nothing was going to go on time going into that by people involved, and because university and stuff like that. It was probably the smoothest conference I have attended. Everything was, it started a half hour late and it was like, oh boy, this is going to be fun, but didn't care. Where was I going to go? It went really well. The first meeting, they started a half an hour late because of people still arriving. And then The meeting only lasted a half an hour. Then we had a welcome reception and a group dinner in the restaurant, which was very nice, all buffet style. But one of the things I noticed on this trip, as soon as I landed, because I monitor my blood sugar because it's a sports thing, for medical reason, just I do, is I halved my blood sugar within 24 hours of arriving, which says a lot about the fact that I'm attempting to eat healthy here in the U.S., which is part of the reason I'm monitoring that. And I was able to have kolache. Kolache, by the way, is dessert there. And I had to actually struggle to get my blood sugar up. So felt that was interesting. One of the other differences I noticed in the trip was from 2012 was the last time I was there. The following year I was injured in lifting. I'd removed this thumb and blew out the left knee in a lift in Canada. So everybody else went there. I stayed. So 2012 was the last time I was there. It was very hard to find anybody that spoke English. This time, pretty much everybody. So big change in everything. In the conference, the primary language was English. Big differences. The technical papers were all technical, meaning it was all peer-reviewed, and we had 3 and 4 reviewers on every paper. Great discussions following each one. I had some questions that went in there, some suggestions, because they were pursuing some stuff that they weren't aware, especially when we were talking about renewables, that some work that was done at NREL and by us and some others had actually existed. So things like some problems with bearing fractures, shaft currents, circulating currents up tower, stuff like that. So we've been sharing that information, which helps because there was a lot of that. See, we had people from Australia and Japan, South Korea, all throughout Europe and the UK, all attended. So it was pretty good. I was the token North American. We had some people from Brazil, which was pretty awesome. One continuous monitoring company. There was one session on AI and I hear the same presentations here. I didn't sit in that one because it was immediately after my presentation, and I was ushered out into the hall to have an emergency meeting because it turns out that our technology solves some issues. So we had some meetings out in the hallway. I went back in. Unfortunately, I missed that one because I wanted to know why their data was so smooth. So it was supposed to be data directly from the SCADA system, and it was just like we see in the States. It almost looked like it was modeled. There was another presentation that was pretty cool, and I still have to share the information with the researcher. He was from one of the universities, and really, really nice guy. Spent the next couple of days having some great conversations with him. His last slide was hilarious because at first I thought he was serious, and I'm going, wow, this guy is, but there's a joke behind it. So I'll explain that in a second. So he got up and he talked about the seasonal consumption by hydro, solar, and wind. So their pattern is slightly different. Now, that has also been done here in the U.S., using a different means. He's a data scientist, so we had a lot of discussion about his model afterwards. Phenomenal model. I would have gone with an ARIMA model, but he went with a different model, and they're basically the same thing. So data scientists, we all do things a little bit different. Just so last slide he puts up, and by the way, they have one dip each year. Versus here in the U.S., if I go down to Oklahoma and Texas area, our dips are in summer and winter, deep summer and deep winter. The wind does not blow as hard. So you'll often see the highest production is in spring and fall. Theirs, lowest production is right around January, so cold weather, but they've got a lot of mountains. They're right on in the Mediterranean, right on the Adriatic Sea. So they have constant wind, and just all the towers we saw when we drove through there, it was pretty cool. It was like driving through certain areas here from out west, all mountainous, which also, by the way, made it fun in driving when we got off the highway, which was a lot of tunnels, because they just, come up. Instead of going up, they just went through. So, and some of those were pretty long tunnels, and you'd come out, you'd see a little daylight, and off you go. So, in any case, his last slide was, who is reviewer number 2? So apparently there's a whole joke thing. I'd never heard it before. It's kind of funny. Reviewer number 2 is always the negative person, whatever. I'll have to find something about that and put it in this at the end of this podcast. So in any case, it was hilarious. So I'm going to use that sometime. So if you ever see me ask about reviewer number 2, it relates to that. If you haven't watched the podcast, you'll not be in on the joke. I took him seriously at first. And I was like, wow, this guy's a little... And then he explained it and he showed it to me over dinner. It was hilarious. So, yeah. You can't know it all. So all the other presentations, I don't think there was a single presentation that I didn't learn something new. Very, very different from what we were running into here with all the commercial conferences where it's the same people, same information. I try to do something a little different. We are extremely busy, as you might have seen before. So I try to keep all fresh case studies. Never mention a customer's name, just case studies from, we ran into this and it's common from what we're seeing, that kind of thing. So over there, it was in depth. We had the OEMs, we had users, we had, the utility, everybody having open, honest discussions. Nobody was hiding anything. It was really kind of neat. The critiques were polite. I'd say, being the American, I was probably the rudest. I think I might have come across that way, because it'd be like, how about this or that? And I think there was one other guy who basically questioned a few things of one of the presenters, and they did a great answer. I got together with them afterwards because it was my area of research as well. So it was great stuff, fantastic. One presentation on AI. So out of 70 papers. 100 and some people, under 200. First conference right after the big international one, so pretty well attended. I think I was the only A1 rep from a country, so I was the USA 1 rep. They didn't realize that until the last day and went, oh, and when I was thanking them for their, everything they did. We did get a tour on the last day of Dubrovnik. So got a chance to get around and see things. Did not do the city walls. We had 4 hours, and then there was something I needed to do other than just rest. But we ended up having to get back to the hotel to do something, and had a nice relaxing time. Again, exhausted. I didn't get a chance to catch up on that trip. Oh, that's what it was. I had a bunch of emails to respond to, because for those of you who are watching this, who were reaching out to me, it was the conference went from 8 a.m. each day there until about dinner was at 8 p.m. So about till 9 each day, and then I tried to answer anything emergency, got answered, and then off we went. In the meantime, during all of this, the SMRP conference was going on, and I think a few people were not expecting that I wouldn't be at the SMRP conference. It's been 20 years, other than last year, which we missed because of the storm. And then 2020, of course, I think that was remote. But in any case, the first time I'd missed a conference in 20 years, and then I found out that, Framatome with the empath happened to be there. So I put out a notification that, hey, folks, I'm not there, but somebody's there with our technology. There was a number of events there. I really haven't gotten any feedback on the SMRP conference. It's unfortunate. I really wanted to show up. If not having a booth, because I knew I couldn't do a booth this year, because I knew this period of time was going to be crazy. But my original intent was to show up to kind of canoodle with some people. But in the end, yeah, sorry, folks. I was in Croatia. And glad I went before the other meetings and had my other meetings, so I had a chance to try to get a little rest. But had to do my pilgrimage to the Tesla location. So, so for those who've seen my notification that we will be very selective about conferences next year, I'd say conferences. Now I'm understanding why everybody's prices are so high in technology. All the marketing. Oh my God. I've never seen prices so high in booths for so little traffic. But did some presentations. I'll do presentations, but I'm not going to. There's a couple of things. We are not our competition. We are focused on the engineering side, getting answers right on the first data set, not selling sensors. It's one of the reasons I won't sell out to investment companies. Working with some investment companies, but we're primarily working with privately held companies in any collaborations. We've seen a lot. Some companies throwing millions at fighting our technology, which I guess that's flattery. In any case, so I took a break from a lot of things the last 2 weeks. Feel refreshed. We are hitting the ground sprinting. This weekend is recovery. I am in a steel plant on Monday, in another place doing an RCFA on Tuesday, in another place on Wednesday, in another place, and so are all of our people. We're everywhere suddenly. So, and we're looking at another building across the way. So, it's been quite exciting. It's been a good year. Started out kind of really shitty. Sorry for the language, but it was. Everybody was quiet about it, but really, a majority of our sales go out of country. So, the things going on had an impact. We'll just say. So that seems to have turned around. I'm in here today when I get done. Other than the fact that I've got to make some decisions on my vehicle, which we wore out really fast this year. Started the year with under 40,000 on it, and I hit the point where it's time. That kind of thing, but having a good year. So anyways, had a great time there. A couple other things. The Nikola Tesla autobiography, I got I have a copy on the shelf from before and everything else, but this one I got in Croatian and English. So maybe I'll learn some language stuff. I will notice, this is the autobiography, very, very good. Had a lot of comments on LinkedIn so far. Nikola Tesla, his family was Serbian, where he was born and where he grew up in Smiljan was Croatian. Now, during the war in around 1991-ish, I don't remember the exact date, that area was the front lines. And the last time I took a trip out there in 2012, the whole area around the birthplace was mined. One half of it by Croatians and one half by Serbians. So apparently they've taken care of that. I had the coffee cup, of course. I brought some gifts for people elsewhere, but I thought this was cool because somebody gave me this. I know a little bit about Nikola Tesla, and it's kind of the 3D thing of Nikola Tesla, the same image that's on the front of the book. So that I have to figure out the best location for it here, because shelf is filling up. I've got another shelf over there that's filling up. I got a blank space right there that's going to start filling up, and another spot with some small shelves over there that's going to start filling up. So I meandered on. This was not really a technical day. Next Saturday, I am going to take us on a tour of the Simpson 260. So we're going to play with the Simpson 260. We are going to look at how it works, and I'm going to put it side by side with a multimeter. So we are going to go into a variable frequency drive motor. We are going to look at what happens when I take an analog meter and look at something that has a lot of harmonics in it versus a multimeter, which is a true RMS meter, so I can show you why your readings aren't often the same. And with that, thank you, folks, for tolerating me going on about my little adventure. I know it was as fun as watching somebody getting back from vacation and showing you their pictures. To me, it was a lot of fun. I love visiting other countries and participating in new ideas. To them, it was like, okay, we're having all these problems, and I'm going, okay, we have some solutions here, and they had some solutions that I'm bringing back. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the big Grid of the Future conference over in Denver, and when we're there, I'm going to be talking about some of the stuff in addition to talking about ESA, in addition to being one of the primary sponsors. In particular, we're going to be videoing so that they are able to record some of the sessions and make them publicly available. So we're paying for that because some of that stuff is great information. I was supposed to also run something else at that conference. It didn't come through, but I will be talking. I've been asked to talk in terms of oh, that's good. I don't have viruses. I've been asked to talk in terms of wind power this year, so got those, and then I have to report out, and hopefully before then we'll have our kickoff meeting for A178, which is the application guide for electrical and current signature analysis for motors, generators, and driven equipment. So have fun, folks, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.